Another Wednesday, another time for weekend reading, where I go over what I'll be reading over the weekend and reviewing what I read last weekend. This week, or specifically what we read last week, if you recall or don't recall, we read Fantastic Four, Volume 7, The Forever Gate, Flash, Volume 14, The Flash Age, and Superman Action Comics Volume 4, Metropolis Burning. Now, unlike last week's stuff to review, this week, it was pretty good. If you recall, my pick for what I thought would be my favorite of the week was Superman Action Comics Metropolis Burning. And it was a good read, but they were all good reads. Everything this week was very good. I enjoyed all of them. And surprise, surprise, Action Comics was not my favorite of the week. My favorite was Fantastic Four, The Forever Gate. I'm shocked by that, because normally I don't like the Fantastic Four that much, especially the way it is now. It seems to be a lot of smaller stories interconnected, but I gotta say, the writing of this one, the art, even all the different stories, it was all really good. The writing is by Dan Slott, with the majority of the art being done by yeah, it looks like the majority of the art was done by R.B. Silva, I think, yeah. Yeah, a majority of the art was done by R.B. Silva, with a little bit of it being done by Zé Carlos and a little bit by Juanan Ramirez, but it's all really good. I even took notes so I wouldn't forget stuff, so I know what to mention. Like I said, it's mostly, it's Fantastic Four, The Forever Gate, so the majority of the story is the Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, the Human Torch, and the Thing. The story starts with basically, apparently Sue Storm has been pulling spy missions for Nick Fury Jr. That distinction becomes important later on. The black one who looks like Samuel L. Jackson. So she's been pulling spy jobs for him, which makes sense because, her powers lend very well to stealth. Apparently somebody has been stealing these these boxes that nobody's supposed to be able to find. These highly technological lock boxes that nobody's been able to find. And Nick Fury sends her to go retrieve one that's in New York before whoever steals it can steal it. And apparently it's being held in the Latvian embassy by Dr. Doom. She goes to steal it, and Doom's there with his henchwoman Victorious, the lady with the cosmic abilities. And just as she shows up, this guy called the Cormorant, who is working for somebody called the Helmsman, they're both from space, shows up. The Cormorant seems to be incredibly powerful, so why he's answering to the Helmsman is anybody's guess. I'm guessing he's being forced somehow. The Cormorant steals the box from Dr. Doom, but it's not what he's looking for. But there's another box in the city, and Doom seems to know that Mr. Fantastic has it. So Sue informs Mr. Fantastic, and he takes the Thing and the Human Torch and his son Franklin Richards, out to Four Freedoms Plaza, which is a place that they're not in anymore. It's now being the domain of a superhero group called the Fantastics. The Cormorant shows up, blows up the building right away, just fucking takes down the Fantastics like that, and then he gets his hands on the box. Or no, he starts looking for the box. The Thing tries to confront him, gets smacked away like he's nothing. Dr. Doom realizes this guy is too powerful for any of them to fight, so that's why apparently Reed brought Franklin. Franklin hits the Cormorant with all his power with one punch. Unfortunately, Franklin's powers have been like running out, so every time he uses them, he loses them. So like his powers aren't recharging. So when he does this one punch, that's literally everything he has left. He's just a normal person now. It stumbles the Cormorant, but it doesn't stop him, which means the Cormorant is super fucking powerful. The Cormorant then finds whatever it is that Reed was hiding, and apparently it was some old experiment of Reed's where he somehow found a way to harness a piece of the energy of the formation of the universe, and he couldn't wield it, but he could contain it. So when the Cormorant opens it, that energy then starts spiraling out of control and could destroy everything. Franklin tries to go for help with Krakoa because he's a mutant, but he can't pass through the gates now. And he learns later on from Reed Richards that he in fact isn't a mutant, that he never was, that his reality warping abilities somehow made it seem like because he wished he was a mutant that he just was one. But now that he doesn't have those powers anymore, he's not a mutant anymore. He doesn't come off as a mutant anymore, so he's not welcome on Krakoa. Let's see. Oh yeah, they managed to when the Cormorant realizes that energy that he was looking for in the box, that isn't what he was looking for either. So instantly he decides, the helmsman tells him to just leave. So so now Reed Richards and Dr. Doom have seconds just to try to solve the problem of how to recontain this unstoppable energy. Doom can't even figure out how Reed was able to get a piece of it to begin with. And just as they're trying to figure that out, Valeria, Reed and Susan's daughter, who's a genius, she was building this teleportation gate earlier on that is very sophisticated, but she couldn't figure out a way to power it. She then drops the gate on top of this spiraling energy, and it merges, and now she has this new gigantic gate that has an unending amount of power, but it's so powerful that it's a teleportation gate that can take you literally anywhere in space and time. Hence why it's called the Forever Gate. The Fantastic Four then take up residence in the crater of Four Freedoms Plaza, basically saying they're taking responsibility for the gate. Then they get contacted by the parents of never mind that. The Future Foundation, their group of kids that they were traveling the multiverse with earlier on, they come back through the Forever Gate, and most of them go back home to where they're home from. But two of the members, Dragon Man and Bentley, who's a clone, who's like a teenage clone of the Wizard, the Fantastic Four's genius enemy. They decide to stay with the Fantastic Four because they have nowhere else to go. They also show up with Elijah for some reason, and that causes issues for Johnny Storm and his new girlfriend from another planet, Sky, this chick with wings. So it's normal stuff until... Oh yeah, and the Thing and Alicia Grimm now, they're dealing with newlywed married life on top of now being adopted parents to the Kree... to this Kree kid, Joven, and this Skrull girl named Nakala. So now they have two alien foster children. After they settle all this stuff with the Forever Gate, there's another little side story where it shows Nick Fury, the older Nick Fury Sr., who has for years now been known as the Unknown after he killed Uatu the Watcher and stole one of his eyes. He was then cursed with Uatu's powers by the other Watchers, but he was condemned to be shackled to the moon, only to watch, just like Uatu was. After that whole... there was a crossover between the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, where they had to fight the Kotati. And the Kotati were wielding these very powerful ancient weapons. And when Nick Fury went to study them, something weird happened, and literally Uatu popped out of his eye socket where he shoved Uatu's eye in. And so now a one-eyed Uatu and a one-eyed Nick Fury are on the moon, and Uatu decides to go through Nick Fury's mind to see everything that he missed since he's been dead. And he learned everything that's happened, and that the reason he came back is that these weapons are so ancient, they're older than almost anything in the universe other than the Watchers themselves. So he has to figure out who's allowing alien races to have these ancient, powerful weapons. So now Nick Fury is no longer the unknown; he's just Nick Fury again. But Uatu decides to make him his personal soldier to go hunt down who's ever messing shit up in the galaxy. So Nick Fury has now a new job. Let's see. Almost everything there. Yeah, after they create the Forever Gate, all of a sudden all these weird, and the Future Foundation comes back, all of a sudden all these weird aliens start coming through the gate. Apparently they're all survivors of different universes that Franklin created when he was still creating universes to create a new multiverse. And when wondering, like, well, why are they running here? They all came looking for Franklin because they see Franklin as their god, and they're running from that woman, the Griever, the embodiment of entropy, who started destroying the multiverses that Franklin created. Because she saw that the universe was supposed to end, and Franklin recreating the multiverse makes her feel kind of cheated. So she comes back, but Franklin can't fight her anymore because he doesn't have his powers, so they have to kind of trick her. Reed Richards calls the Silver Surfer, who shows up with the Ultimate Nullifier, but the problem with the Ultimate Nullifier is it can destroy anyone, but whoever uses it will also be destroyed. So wielder and the person it's wielded against will both be annihilated. So it's kind of a catch-22 there. But then Franklin decides that he's going to use it against her because it's his responsibility, but Reed comes up with a different solution, and he makes a deal with the Griever that if she leaves them alone, they'll send her to the end of time itself, the place where entropy has happened and everything's already destroyed, basically sending her to what she already wants without her having to do any of the work to get it. She agrees to this, and then she leaves. So that at the very least buys them some time. God only knows if she'll come back. Then there's an extra story about the King in Black tie-in. The Null, the symbiote god, has come to Earth, and there's a tie-in with the Fantastic Four where they have to fight some of the symbiote dragons, and Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm and Skye, Johnny's girlfriend, all get possessed by the symbiotes, but they, eventually by the end of the story they're okay because, I'm assuming that's how the King in Black story will work out. We haven't gotten to that part yet, so we'll see. And then there's an extra story about Johnny and Skye and about them dealing with their relationship issues and stuff like that. But it may not sound like the most exciting stuff, but it was very entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot, and like I said, the art was fantastic. So, Fantastic Four Volume 7, The Forever Gate. That was my favorite of the week. That was last week, though. What do we got going on this week, you might be asking? Alright, well, first up, we have Justice League Volume 7. Another Volume 7. Galaxy of Terrors. Lost in space. Join the Justice League among the stars as they encounter otherworldly mysteries and villains. First in The Rule, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and The Flash answer a distress call from the far reaches of space. There they encounter war-torn aliens known as the Trotha. But will they be graded as saviors or conquerors? Or both? And can the Justice League unite the planet before it is torn asunder by an ancient evil? My guess is yes. Then in The Garden of Mercy, the Justice League discovers the homeworld of the Black Mercy, a plant that offers a perfect life to its host, at a horrifying cost. Under its thrall, Batman finally finds peace, but his teammates must free him from paradise, if they all survive. Written by Simon Spurrier and Jeff Loveness, with art by Aaron Lopresti and Robson Roca. These stories prove that the world's greatest heroes are not limited to just one world. This volume collects Justice League 48 through 52. Now, these are like side stories while Death Metal was going on. The art looks pretty good. But yeah, this is kind of just like in between while they were dealing with the setup to Death Metal and Death Metal was happening. So these are more just like filler issues, but that doesn't mean they can't be good. Speaking of Death Metal, we got Dark Knight's Death Metal, War of the Multiverse. Another one of these little side books related to the Death Metal miniseries. Let's see what this one is. The last stories of the DC Universe. The Batman Who Laughs has made his final move, bringing the most horrifying opposition to the battleground, and now every hero and villain left alive will stand and fight together. The last battle against the Batman Who Laughs is at hand, the final fight for everything in the universe. And while the night is usually darkest just before the dawn, what would be the last thing you would do if you weren't sure the dawn would ever arrive? Join our heroes in their waning hours as we show their journeys through what could be their final moments. Heroes who have fought a million times before, but are keenly aware this could be their endgame. Everyone and everything is at stake, so join here for the last of the DCU as we know it. So that means they're basically rebooting the universe again. Featuring stories from a multitude of today's biggest creators like Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, Joshua Williamson, Mark Waid, Gail Simon, Travis Moore, Francis Manapul, and Mirka Andolfo. Dark Knight's Death Metal, More of the Multiverses, details every riff and all the power chords of the last war across the multiverse, collecting tales from Dark Knight's Death Metal, Last Stories of the DC Universe #1, and Dark Knight's Death Metal, The Last 52, War of the Multiverses #1. So just 2 books. These must be 2 pretty big books. This collection also features a host of behind-the-scenes material from the creation of these issues. So, yeah, that should be interesting. This Death Metal stuff has been pretty good. Like I said, I like crazy multiversal shit. Neither of those are my pick of the week. My pick of the week is this, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a dead-on right one. Gideon Falls Volume 6. I have been loving this series. It's really weird, but it's really good. The writing has been awesome. Let's see. The thrilling conclusion. Okay, so we've come to the end. To the Eisner Award-winning series by New York Times best-selling writer Jeff Lemire and artist Andrea Sorrentino, with the talents of Eisner Award-winning colorist Dave Stewart. The end is nigh. The realities are finally converging, and the wayward champions of Gideon Falls have arrived at the center to face off against the Laughing Man and his legion of evil for the last time. But the Black Barn has returned as well, and before they can set their reality straight, they'll be forced to confront their greatest fears within its walls, together. This has been a great series. If that description makes it sound like it's kind of influenced by Twin Peaks, you're absolutely right. There's no denying the Twin Peaks influence on this book, but unlike Twin Peaks, which got to be fucking a bag of garbage in Season 2, this book has been a thrilling read from start to finish. Well, I haven't gotten to the finish yet, but we're at the finish, and it looks like the quality's holding up. I mean, the art looks just as good, so... yeah, this is my pick of the week. I think this will be, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be next week what I say will be my favorite. But we'll see. I could always be wrong, but something tells me I won't be. Trying to wrap these up quicker now. We're almost at 20. So yeah, that's it. That's what I'm reading this week. I haven't started rating yet. I'm just trying to keep myself occupied throughout the week while I'm dealing with all my other troubles. I hope you can too. If you're reading anything this weekend or reading anything during the week, I hope you're enjoying it. If you want to let me know what that is, if you even bother to watch this, please do. Until then, until next week, enjoy your reading.